Welcome back to my channel. This is Sally sewing tutorial. In today's video we'll be making a simple gather skirt. So this is the fabric that we'll be using, and to have a zipper, an high waist gather skirt. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to determine the waist. The waist of this client is 30 inches. So the fullness of the gather, I'm going to do 30 times 2.5, which is 2.5. So we'll have a total of 75 inches. So I'm just going to take my fabric and I'm going to measure 75 inches in length. So from here, this is the tip of my fabric. I'm going to place my tape. So the least you can go is 2 inches, but it will not be full. Then the fuller you want it, you can increase it. You can do times 3 inches, which will be perfect. So but this one, I'm trying to manage the fabric, so I'm doing times 2.5 inches, which is 2.5. So this is 60. So I have 17 more to go. So I've measured the 17. I'm going to add 2 inches for zipper. So 1 inch on both sides. And I'm going to take it off. The length of the skirt I'll be using is 41 inches, the total length. So what I'm going to do, I want our band to be 2.5 inches. So I'm going to subtract 2.5 inches from 41 inches. So by the time I subtract 2.5 inches from 41 inches, we'll be left with 38.5 inches. So I'm going to take my tape this way, place it at one end of the fabric. Then this is my 38.5 inches. Then I'm going to add half inch for joining the upper body with the band. So we have 39. Then I'm going to add 1 inch for ending the down part. So I'm taking a total of 40 inches. So I'm going to roll this off and I'll set it aside. So for the band, for us to do the band, it's going to be a straight band, straight cut band with nothing. So remember the waist is 30 inches. So 30 inches, I'm going to add 1 inches to the 30 inches. Sorry, I'm going to add 2 inches to the 30 inches. That means 1 inch on both sides. So 2 inches, so we have 32 inches in total. Unfold, divide by 2, we'll have 16 inches. So I'm going to cut. This is 18 inches. So I'm going to leave it at this 18 inches. I'll trim off the excess when I'm done. Then the width of it is 6 inches, which is perfect. This width of it is 6 inches, which is perfect. Remember the band is 2.5 inches, which is unfold is 2.5 inches. Then when it's open like this, it's going to be 5 inches. So this 6 inches is just perfect for it, because when I fold it like this, I have 3 inches. So I'll be sewing with half an inch. I'll be left with 2.5 inch. So I'm going to cut this and I'm going to iron interfacing on it. So I'll be using paper stain. I'll be using paper stain for my interfacing. So I'm going to iron interfacing on this for it to have thickness. Then we'll continue. So guys, I'm done adding interfacing. I use paper stay. Look at it here. So what I'm going to do, I also went ahead to close the side with half inch. So I left from the beginning, I left half inch before closing to the end on both sides, because this is where I'll be joining to the skirt. So in total, unfold, I have the 16 inches here. So when you are doing unfold, you do 16.5 inches. Remember the waist is 30 inches. Why we added extra 2 inch for zipper, so we had 32 inches. Is the 32 inches that I divided by 5, by 2 to give us the 16 inches unfold. So I will notch the center and also pick up this fabric that I've cut. I'll fold it into 2 equal parts and notch the center also. So I've notched the center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this now. Then the side I want this side that has this edge to be inside of the skirt why I want this other place to be outside of the skirt. So this is how I want it to be. So I'm going to take this first notch and bring it this way. That means I'm using the back to back. That is what it means. So I'm going to pin it down. So I'll go to the extreme end of the skirt. I'll place it this way. I'll place it this way. Before you do that, you can interlock the edge, because this edge is rough. You can interlock it before doing that. So I'm going to place this like this. Then I'll start pleating, because I'm doing a pleat skirt, not a gathers. So I'll start pleating 1 inches till I'm done. So I'll go do this and come right back. So guys, this is what I have. I'm going to remove this. So this is the pleat. So you will take note that, sorry, when you are sewing, you are supposed to leave 1 inch for the zipper before you start pleating it. So that is what I did. I left 1 inch at both ends before I started with the pleating. So this is how it looks like. So what I'm going to do is just to flip it over to this side. Remember, that was why I left this half on sewn. So you see the way it is. So I'm going to put it this way. Then I'll bring this half inside and fold it. Then I will stitch on top of it till I get to the end. So I've gone ahead to turn the side of the band. So this is what we have. I turned it at the right side so that we can have a neat edge. Please, if you are a beginner, if you are a learner, I advise that after folding the first side, you should iron first before top stitching on top of it. So this is what we have. The next thing we're going to do is to fold the fabric into two. Remember the 2 inches we added for zipper. We said we want to divide it into two, one on each end, which is 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this other side. So I'm going to take my zipper, depends on the length of the zipper you are working with. So I'm going to take my zipper, I'm going to place it from the band. So this is where it's going to stop. So I'm going to come up by half an inch or 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. From this mark I drew here, I'm going to close it, top stitch it by closing it. And I'm going to sew all the way to the hem line with 1 inch. So after sewing with 1 inch, I'll open my zipper, my space I left for zipper. I'm going to open my zipper and I'm going to place it and sew the zipper on it. Then hem the down part with 1 inch, because that is what I left for it. It has a English mouth, not a rough edge. So I'm just going to fold it just one and sew it all the way around. So guys, this is what we have. We'll come to the end of this tutorial. This is our zipper, looking smooth and everything. So thank you for stopping by. I'll see you in my next video.